Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Party Makes Things Worse Prince of Charming edition, aka Monster of the Week edition. We're branching out from our D&D roots into another system that we love very much, and now we are a nice handful of episodes deep here, approaching a handful of episodes deep. We need a recap from one of our hunters here about what happened on our last session. Who's going to do it?
I'll be reclaiming my spot as
Boom.
the person that does these. I do want to say, completely unnecessary. You said maybe a handful. How big in the hand is an episode of an actual play podcast?
One finger covers each episode,
I
so
suppose.
five
So
episodes.
episode 0.5 is your thumb because it's technically not a
Yeah,
digit, and so then
exactly.
we're like two. We're about to be three more in. Okay, fair enough. All right, so we open on the college in the town. Oh, let me get out my larger notes. Let's try to get some of these names out here, huh? We start off at Brightview College, where Thomas Puck is about to leave in his truck. There is a brief discussion where he says he will return in about 2 hours after going to search for the girl who went missing. At that same time, Connor, Charles, and Jessica identify the tire marks on the ground as being the same as from the van, the same make and model as the van that Connor drives. So Thomas knows that that's what he is looking for. He departs as Connor and Jessica also leave in the van, going opposite directions to try to find this person, hopefully before they are killed. Spoiler alert. It doesn't quite work out. At that same time, Charles Kevinson investigates the school, finds an open window, goes into President Brian Pierce's office, finds a spilled inkwell, like old-timey inkwell, and a tennis shoe print and a fancier shoe print. Following that, he heads off into the woods. At that same time, Thomas Puck, tracking down the car, finds a van matching the description in the parking lot of the town hall. It has some reference to the mayor in town, Walter Flagg. He walks up. The front door to the town hall is locked, even though it shouldn't be. Thomas, my character, moving around the side, pulls an air conditioner down, discovers a murder in process. We cut away to Connor and Jessica. They arrive. Going across the side of the road, they see some movement. Looks to be somebody in a dress. They think maybe it's this cheerleader, maybe it's somebody else. Parking the van, they hop out of the car, go down and into the embankment. There, they meet up with they meet up with Charles Kevinson as Connor goes ahead. Connor is tackled by the president of the college, Brian Pierce. Connor manages to talk him down and alert the rest of the party to his presence. The president of the college leaves. Jessica and Charles hide. They see the president see Connor's van, see the bicycle inside, and then leave further heading down the road. Charles and Jessica get into the van and drive off as Connor goes back to the school on foot. We cut back to the town hall. Thomas tries to stop the attack, realizes the person's dead, briefly tries to flee before remembering that there is some kind of unearthly ritual going on, goes back in, picks up the body, runs out into the street, is pretty mortally wounded. I only have 3 HP left before I die in the process, runs outside, and the sheriff, who was previously called from one of the offices, hits the mayor of town with his car, the mayor running on all four and frothing at the mouth at the time, and kills him. The mayor's dead body is put in the trunk. The girl's dead body is put in the back seat. We cut back to Connors bugging the president of the college's office as Charles and Jessica get the car up and running. They are headed back just in time to hear Connors surveillance equipment turn on and overhear a phone call that Brian Pierce is making. He calls the office where Thomas witnessed the murder, pretty clearly layers himself as in some way involved in these killings and that they are happening for some purpose and that the mayor of town was involved. Hangs up the phone, and that's where we ended the session. My character is bleeding out next to an inept police officer. Connors is 3 feet away from a guy who just admitted to a ritual killing. And Charles and Jessica are in a van and have also just heard that admission by Brian Pierce. I will say this. My first reaction maybe I overestimated Thomas Burns' involvement in the case. maybe I overestimated the degree to which he was involved. Who can say? So that is that's my recap. If I didn't miss anything, I feel pretty good about it.
I think that covered everything. We're
Twofer.
going to jump in media res, but before we do so, something we missed last week is character facts. I assume you all came prepared with your 4 various character facts, and you didn't forget until this very moment, like maybe your keeper did. But I did remember, unlike last time, and so I'm going to put it to all of you, and I vamped for about 25 seconds here, saying all that nonsense I said, so you guys could think of something. Who's ready to go?
Character fact number 1. I just leveled up.
Huge.
Sure, if
Well-
I can't get my smoothie out.
Character fact, Connors sitting outside of the president's office like, pretty good smoothie.
It would be great if it wasn't solid.
You gotta add more orange juice to it.
There you go. Milk, actually.
Yeah.
I have a character fact. Thomas Puck has only ever been injured this badly before once. As a Thomas actually has a scar on his side that just like kind of a large across his ribs. It's from when he was much younger. He had a friend who his dad was like a big outdoorsman, and Thomas and his friend were like playing with one of his friend's dad's guns, and Thomas almost got shot in the process, and it like grazed him, and then the friend's dad came out and like chewed them both out, and they never even really hung out again because it was such a big deal, because obviously Thomas had to go to like the hospital, and his parents were like, you're never going over to the house again. And so the only time he's ever been this injured before was when he was an almost half injury, so he's like really in shock. Just like,
I thought when you said there's a big scar on your side that it was going to be aliens. I really thought you were going to hit us with one time he got abducted by aliens, but he doesn't remember it.
can you imagine if I took the hardest left turn ever? No. Yeah, just one of those oddball near miss things.
Fair enough.
I guess for Charles too, like with his like the horns that like kind of are growing, he's been trying to like keep them filed back, but is also like has been contemplating and trying to like work on the angles so that they're more ergonomic for running when they're underneath his hat. And he's been like looking into try to like find like better caps and stuff to like keep his head like kind of like ergonomic while also hiding the horns that are growing.
You got to start with the swimmer's cap and then build from there. All right, we've got 2 more hunters left with facts.
Okay,
I'm checking a history fact real quick.
I will
Okay.
go.
Okay.
All right.
My character fact is that Jessica's reading Outlander. Just kidding. That was my character fact apparently for last week.
Yeah, we got one.
That counts as last week's. My character fact this week is that I think it is confirmed that Jessica's was one of those children. She was a kind of child who would like creep their parents out because they'd be like, oh yeah, my friend, like I'm playing with my friend, like, one of those children that sees ghosts, like casually.
It's very casual, very demure, very mindful.
It's very demure, it's very mindful, like, one of those creepy children. I guess it's not that creepy, but like she has an imaginary friend, but like, is it imaginary?
If we're going to count this as a character fact, you got to tell us what your imaginary friend's name was.
Oh, it's definitely something really, really scary. Like some old lady, that used to live in the house that we live in before. Like her name was like, Bernadette or something crazy.
Yeah.
She like knits. I don't know.
Another burn name.
Burns, the old lady from the 3rd floor.
No, Burns.
Burns.
There would be the true horror as a parent of being like, oh, what's your imaginary friend's name? And they hit you first name, last name.
Yo,
They say a
messed
full
up.
Christian name. You're like, no, you're supposed to say Mr. Jingles. No. I'm buying a
Bernadette
gun.
Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, that's a good one. Michael?
The fact I was looking up was with contact lenses. My guy, he very blind man. So he used contact lenses. That actually, I didn't get to see this part. I'm gonna say that it changed his eye color a little bit. And he
You
likes
got
that
stylish
fact.
ones.
Yeah, I was looking up when contact lenses were like widely available. Guess the year.
Like
1991 again?
1950.
Was that?
I said 1950. Stefan said 91 again. Like
Yeah.
everything else we've done.
91 would be hilarious.
For the plastic ones, at least.
Yeah.
Mm.
The last
Uh,
ones are a lot longer, right?
yeah, 71 is when they became
Oh.
widely available.
Oh wow.
But they weren't really approved until 78 by the FDA.
Weren't they invented in like the 40s though?
They were invented
lost
in
Not the nice
1800s.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I lost the
Um,
beginning. What is
yeah.
this?
Contact
Contact
lenses.
lenses.
Contact lenses. Okay, yeah, they
I've
used to be
seen the-
glass.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
this really old
Um,
video of like a guy and of like demonstrating on a woman, and she like puts this huge piece of glass in her eye.
Ugh.
He's like, "You can't even tell," and she's like,
Oh no.
And the really cool thing is, there's sketches from Leonardo da Vinci with schematics for contact lenses.
I think it's about time we talk about what Leonardo da Vinci was on. That dude was like, yeah,
He's on future stuff.
yeah, he put out so many different things. What do you mean you're doing contact lenses? Didn't you just make a flying machine schematic?
Mhm.
What? Somebody left a journal that he found, and he said, I'm going to make this my stuff.
"I'm not gonna
oh, yeah.
lie, I have been to his house before,
Fun.
but
Mhm.
I was so hungry.
No.
I was so hungry that I don't remember almost any of it because I was so like not interested because I was so hungry. That is one of the
Oh,
biggest regrets.
that's tough.
Was that when I went and traveled, I was 15 years old, and so I was a real dummy.
I want to do something funny. Michael, what is Charles' birthday?
Charles' birthday.
I'm about to buy you a free character fact with this.
All right, cool. It will
Spencer,
be.
you're muted.
He's a Christmas baby. He is December 25th.
And we do mean Connor's birthday for the viewers. at
Yes.
home.
What did I say?
No, my birthday.
Charles.
Oh, sorry. Your names are right next to each other. You guys went
True.
alliterative. That's not my fault. Okay, and how old is Connor? We said a number. I don't
33.
remember what it was, like 40 something?
Yeah. No, it wasn't 40. I think it was like 33.
33. All right. I'll report back in a few minutes.
If he went to the Vietnam War.
Oh.
Shut up.
It's a huge question for anybody over the age of about 30. So it is good to
Yeah.
know.
I think my character was close to 40 or something.
I'm about to find out. It's all good.
All right. With this research being done, I'm going to reset the scene. Jessica Fitch and Charles Kevinson are rapidly approaching the College of Brightview. Connor Connors is located at Brightview already, having listened in on the sobbing tears of the president of the college, Brian Pierce. He set up a device to listen in that Charles and Jessica were able to listen to through the van, as he essentially admitted some degree of criminal conniving. He's a part of this. You're not sure exactly how or why or what they're doing, besides murder. So you are approaching Brightview. You're driving up the hill in this wooded area. Thomas Puck, you are sitting in the office of the now
This
deceased.
motherfucker hasn't taken me to the hospital still.
No, you just got a phone call. This phone call, he just looked up at you as it went dead, and he put the
His-
phone down.
His next bumper sticker should be Walter Flag for reanimation.
Maybe he will be reanimated. Who's to say?
When Connor's draft number would have been called, he would have been too young to enlist. Dodged it.
Oh.
And you got around it. Yeah, Thomas. Okay. Sorry. Keep doing the scene. I didn't mean to.
The sheriff sets the phone back down on the receiver as you guys make a prolonged eye contact of shock and horror at this clear admittance of wrongdoing. The sheriff looks at you with that and then looks down and goes, "Oh shit, we got to get you to the hospital." And he swings open the door and says, "Come on." And he grabs you around the shoulders and is essentially carrying you.
Thomas goes, grape nuts. He's just out as he gets let out the door. No, yeah, as we're sort of limping our way and he puts me in the passenger seat to drive somewhere to get medical help. Thomas is like, so the mayor of town, looking in the back seat, and the president of the college are a duo of serial killers?
I mean, I guess they're. I don't know why they're not even together doing the serial killing. Normally, serial killers would get together, do it so they can do the act together. They're not even really. The other one's away.
Was there ever... How many... Do you get deaths like this in this town? In your time as sheriff? Ever?
0.
0?
We had one man cut his arm off on accident with a circular saw.
Who was the sheriff before you were? How long have you been in this gig?
Rich Collier. I've been sheriff for about 12 years.
Jeepers. Rich Collier. All right, well...
But as far as I know, never been a murder.
Ain't nothing normal about it either. And there's a obsidian knife in a evidence bag between the two of us in the cup holder. Blade
like
down,
flattering.
handle up, like... I don't know what to make of this. Looking around in his head, Thomas is like looking over at the sheriff and just keeps in his head trying to play over like, no, he thinks that, believe it or not, he doesn't think the sheriff is equipped to deal with knowledge of the great sort of supernatural of the world.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And so
seems like that sheriff had some sort of rabies. So I'm gonna make sure we get him tested up proper. Make sure it's not something spreading around the town, gonna do any issue. But it's premeditated, right? They had a whole conversation on the phone about it. So rabies notwithstanding.
I just I take a big wad of McDonald's napkins out of the glove box and start putting pressure on the wound on the front of me, and I go, yeah, I mean, definitely premeditated, right? He had the van. Because the only car parked was a van outside. So he went to the college, took a van from the college, kidnapped somebody, drove here to do it. So this is a lot of premeditation. There was a lot of moments where he could have pulled up from this little operation. And bare minimum, the president has in fact committed conspiracy to commit murder. Although it sounds like there might be another person in danger. Is that, Sheriff, would you happen to know, the campus is closed. Is the nurse's office at the school open? I look, does he have a car phone?
He has like a CB radio.
Not going to be entirely helpful. Unless I know, what are the odds that I know the CB? Does Connor have one in the van?
He would, but he didn't say anything about it.
I wouldn't know. I look at it and I remember seeing one in Connor's van and I go, son of a bitch. I never asked him. If there's a nurse's office at the school, we could drive there if they're open.
With them being closed, I doubt that the nurse is in there. I'm just going to get you the urgent care.
Okay.
I think that's going to be our best bet. And I rolled a die behind the scenes here. And Sheriff goes, he's flooring it. He's not just gabbing. You're in the car driving. He says, you know, I've never been one for the mythos of the world, but something ain't right here. An obsidian blade? What is this, Dungeons and Dragons? What is that called? Gargoyles? Yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
It's
I think
weird.
3rd edition just came out, so it's actually pretty hot right now.
Yeah.
Wipes sweat and leaves a trail of blood and goes, that's... I write those hiking journals. I don't know if you know that. That's what I'm doing in town. I'm a hiking journalist. And Thomas kind of looks over and he goes, you know, I've seen some things out there. I'm telling you, I have. I believe it. I do. I've seen some strange. You camp out in the Appalachians at night. You're gonna walk away thinking something about something. That's for sure. It's funny, in this moment, Thomas is thinking about the way he had to talk to Charles, and this is usually how that goes when he talks to people. And so he's having a very surreal, he looks over, and genuinely he is like on death's door a little bit. And for a minute he blinks, and when we have a $2 million TV show budget, he blinks, and the sheriff all of a sudden is Charles driving the car. And he's like, and it's the strangest... You see all kinds of stuff, and then I tell you, Sheriff, I'm going to warn you now. Charles, you see it everywhere after a while. You see it everywhere you go. You start to notice strange things everywhere. You just watch. And he kind of goes hazy and passes out.
As you're passing out, you hear, like, garbled the sound of him talking, responding. And he says... It's like that damn witch put a curse on this place. You know, from those stories.
What? Thomas sits up and bangs his head on the top of the car. And, son of a bitch. And just sort of
cut from Thomas to Jessica and Charles as you pull up to the college. Connor, where are you on campus?
I'd probably be trying to get back to the woods, honestly. Try to run back there because there's still some girl out in the woods.
Yeah, you haven't made it very far. You're running full force down the road near the woods. Charles and Jessica. Jessica, you're driving. You see Connor, like, what are you wearing, Connor? What's your current outfit?
Jenner stuff.
He's wearing like a full Dickies and he's sprinting down the road.
Absolutely horrifying.
He has a Michael Myers mask on.
That'll put that girl
in
at ease.
hand.
Connors, your machine started talking, and it seems like the president is quite suspicious.
Jessica slams on the brake.
Whoa!
I almost get hit.
You leap out of the way.
What's that about machines and voices? I jump in.
I guess your spy machines and stuff started talking, and it was like the president's voice that was on the line.
The FBI does not spy. we only listen in.
Well, it's not he doesn't believe in the supernatural, so it can't be anything like that. It's
Spy Machine is a great name for a grunge band. Can I say that? Yeah. It's 1991. Somebody put a pin in that. Mail that to yourself.
Like
Connors definitely thinks of that. Connors definitely plays guitar. So it starts out. What was it saying? I literally just plugged that in.
Yeah, it sounded like, I guess, the president was talking to the mayor, I think, and was talking about chasing down the girl and stuff, and that something fishy's going on. So we should probably kind of have a little tete-a-tete with that guy.
He didn't say who the girl was, nothing like that.
I don't think so, no. But maybe we can get him to say.
All right, we can go in. He's blubbering like a baby up there.
Great. His front door is a bit well sealed. I've got in through the window. Do you want me to maybe get in, interrogate him, open the door, bring you guys in, or should we all go through the window one at a time?
I mean, you and I can go through the bring Jessica through a window in an altercation like this doesn't seem like the wisest idea.
I don't know if I want to be alone.
This is true too.
I feel like I'm the, demographic of those who should not be alone.
True. Now, we did forget this last game, so I do want to briefly reiterate, Michael, your character is a badge-carrying FBI agent. So you can do... So if somebody finds you, you do get to go...
Oh, yeah.
What?
I can I just don't want the entire town to know I'm an FBI agent.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's why I use that for last ditch effort things. Um, do you want to wait in front of his door and we'll let you in? Because I agree, you probably shouldn't be left alone.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have a shotgun somewhere in the liminal space between where I am and
That's a scary
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, the
Please
question
do
is,
not
did you bring
point
it
at
with
me,
you to
though.
rehearsal? Have you been carrying with it actively?
Certainly not. Certainly not. In the basket of my bike.
There's a 12 gauge strapped to the side. Wait, you've got one of those horse things hanging off the side.
I
Oh,
guess.
does ET go home?
Yeah. In my gear, it does say I have a big knife, so I can give that to you to protect yourself.
I also have a big knife. I could
For
get
sure, yeah, I'll just
dual big knives.
Everybody loaded up with huge knives.
stand out here with 2 knives in my hand while there's a murderer on the loose. Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks good as well. When one of my friends died and the other one is missing.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, hopefully this
I'll put
guy will
it.
know where they are.
Oh, okay. I'll hide it in my bag or something.
Okay.
So, what are you doing?
Yes. So us to go through the window, I'll give you instructions on how to get in from his door. Do you know how to get to his door?
He would know how to get to his door.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's the
All
plan.
right. So, who's going through the window? Gotcha. You both walk, I assume stealthily, sort of trying to keep a low profile as you approach this door. Both of you roll cool.
I got a 9.
Oh my god. That is the third double sixes in a row now.
Wow.
That is 15. Going along with the Connor's the most sneaky person in the entire world.
A real James Bond type, you know. Yeah, Charles, you start the approach up to this door here. As you do that, what are you wearing? What's your outfit?
I've got my sort of like tannish colored windbreaker kind of like suit on. It's like got like the white blaze on the front and then like the tan on the sides.
Mm-hmm. And on your head, hiding your horns.
Yeah, like kind of like a sort of like a cap, but it's got a little bit of extra cushion in there.
As you're wearing your cap is pulled down a little bit and you're sneaking and you like catch the wall and your hat pulls up a little bit, and as you go to adjust it, the wind picks up and blows it away.
No.
You can go to retrieve your cap, thus breaking stealth, or you can continue forward capless with horns exposed.
I feel like I should do the pure drive, act under pressure for my my monster curse is for fear. So being exposed right here, I guess probably do that. So. Oh no. So that's a 6 total.
A 6 total. Yeah, you do not succeed on that roll. So you would run after the cap.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh no, that one's important for me, Connor. So I'm heading over.
I watch you swim away, just dumbfounded. Like, it's a hat, Charles.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
he has
fine.
his hands covering the horn so you don't see it.
Are you balding or something? It's okay, man.
And
No.
with Charles breaking this stealth, Connor, you are still maintaining it, but you hear leather creak from inside the office, like somebody rapidly sat up and heard hooves essentially running against pavement, and heard him call out about his hat. He knows that somebody's out there. He doesn't know you're out there.
Mm-hmm. I continue.
You get up to the window and you look up and you see the bleary-eyed face of Brian Pierce peek out and look over and see Charles Kevinson running after his cap. He breathes in and lets out a sigh of relief, seeing that Charles has run off. He's somebody who you'd expect to see on campus. And you are right below him. You're looking up and he doesn't look. He takes the blinds and he pulls them shut, the curtains, and he pulls them shut and turns back, and you hear him sit back down in his chair.
Hmm.
What do you do?
How's this window looking? Is it looking sturdy? Is it looking loud?
The window's open.
Oh,
It's
perfect.
just the curtains are drawn. He left it open from when he returned last.
Gotcha. All right. Um, I want, I want, I want to start pulling myself up, but I want to throw a rock into his house, into like the corner, so he looks that way.
Into the office, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you grab a stone and you throw it over. I'm gonna say you're gonna do another act under pressure here, so roll plus cool.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Lost your bonus.
Who was that?
Lost your bonus. Your plus to it.
No, I'm just trying to find it. I was looking under the wrong character sheet.
Oh,
no.
that'll do it.
Yeah. So 9 plus 2 plus 3. So that is a 6 plus 3, so a 9.
A 9. You go to throw this rock, and you know that your only way to do that would be to open the curtain fairly wide to throw it to the other side. What you can do here is throw the rock against this dude's head. You got a straight shot to just dome him.
Cool. Yeah, I do that instead.
Yeah, you wind up and whip this stone out. You don't need to roll because you're not actually kicking some ass here. And you already rolled to throw it for your act under pressure. You lean back, whip this rock, and crack him against the head. He takes 1 harm as a gash instantly opens up on his forehead. He says, "What the hell?" And he stands up, knocking his chair over yet again. And he whips around towards the curtain that is still shut because I assume you let go of it after you threw it. Yeah, it blows gently in the breeze. And then he runs over and opens the curtain.
Mm.
Does he see you standing there?
I grab him and try and yank him out.
Oh,
Yeah, now we're gonna roll to kick some ass here. So roll your die and add plus tough.
Tough. The tough is plus 2. Awesome. All right, that is a 9 plus 2, so an 11.
An 11. All right, you do what you set out to do, which is pull him through this window. You can also gain the advantage by taking +1 forward or give +1 forward to another hunter. You can inflict terrible harm, doing an additional harm to him as you pull him down, elbow him. You suffer less harm, or you force them where you want them.
I'm kind of forcing him where I want him.
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying to
already-
get him on the ground.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You pull him down, and I'm gonna say he doesn't get a chance to swing out at you as you do this. You just slam him onto the ground. What are you gonna do for your extra bonus, your extra effect?
I get an extra bonus?
Yeah, that was those things that I listed off. You already did force them where you want them as your primary, but you can do +1 harm. You can suffer less harm, which is not going to happen, and you can gain advantage. Take 1 plus forward or give +1 forward to another hunter.
I'll gain advantage.
All right, so you get a +1 forward while you're dealing with this interaction here in combat ways. You don't get +1 forward to. I guess you could persuade him with a forward. We'll see. We'll see what you do next.
Hmm.
Jessica and Charles. Charles, you retrieve your hat and you throw it on just as you see Brian pulled out and slammed onto the ground. Jessica, you hear the president go as the wind is knocked out from him. You both see that occur. What do you do?
All right, that's probably a good way to take him out of his den. I'll run up again and just be like, sir, Mr. President, I think the janitor was a little upset about the state of your office there."
Yeah, I think there might be some sort of misunderstanding. I would like to be done with whatever this is and go back into my office. Is that all right?
Well, I guess we'd want to also know, kind of like what you've been doing then. There seems to be kind of like someone that you were pursuing, and we would like to kind of know the means and where they are and who they are.
I tell you, sir, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, can I run over because I see what's happening and I'm like, oh well, that's what we're looking for. So I'm like, oh, it's fine, and I put the knives in my bag and can I run over and be like, I don't know if I would call him Doctor.
You probably call him Dr. Brian.
Dr. President.
What we're doing right now is we're
President.
picking Pierce's backstory. Was Pierce a
Yeah.
professor and now he's president? Did Pierce go to business school?
Pierce went to graduate school. He did get his doctorate, but it's in higher education administration.
Oh my god. I thought you were about to say he had like a doctorate in business, and I was like, who the fuck?
No. Higher
I'd
ed
say
admin.
just call him President Pierce because it sounds cool.
Okay, I'll run over, and be like, Dr. Pierce, thank God. Um, my friend, she's missing, and I'm so worried. Like I don't know where she is. I've just been running around trying to find her. Do you know where my friend is? I thought maybe you could help. You're the first adult I've seen.
Yes, of course. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind unhanding me, I need to help my student here, and I'm sure we can figure out whatever it is
Her
you're
name
looking
is
after.
Taylor. Have you seen her at all?
Taylor Finney?
Yeah. Have you seen her?
I have not seen her, no.
I'm really worried something bad happened to her. She was like my closest friend. I loved her like a sister.
Well, I'm sure she's all right. I'll make a call to the sheriff and say that there's another person who's missing. But again, he's on the ground like lapelled grab still. You guys haven't
Yeah.
let him go. He's like,
No.
I'll tell you what, Jessica. I'll talk to you about this after this
I
is
would
dealt
like
with.
to read his mind.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you have to do for it?
Oh, I was just rolling already.
Mm.
um, investigate a mystery or read a bad situation.
You're investigating a mystery, I guess. We don't need to go that hard with it. You're reading this dude's mind. So what did you get on the roll?
5.
Wouldn't matter what we picked, not really. With a 5, you do not succeed. You try to enter into his mind, and all you're getting is that he is freaked out and wants to get out of these dudes' hands. You're not picking up on the story you're trying to spin, getting more information out of him. He's just freaked, so he's not locked in that way. So, gentlemen, again, please let me go. I feel that if you don't, I'm gonna have to start calling for security.
Right. I guess the other thing is I did kind of like hear you say something about like an operation of snake in the grass, and just wanted to know what that was too.
Are there snakes on
Seemed-
campus?
Yeah, that might be a good thing to make sure if we're all good and clear here.
His mouth dries up, and all the blood in his face vanishes, and he says, "Well, I'm sure that I'd be able to explain all that unpleasantness. Please, let's enter my office.
No, I think we can talk about that here and now. Um, I don't like you. I don't like people that are chasing girls through the forests. So we can talk or we can fight right now. If you're not talking, we're fighting.
Talk. I'm telling you, I'm gonna talk. It's fine.
You can talk right here. I'm not covering your mouth.
It might look bad if anyone would see you pinning the president of the college down on the ground. That's all I'm gonna say. We are right by the front entrance. There are other people on campus still. It's closed, but there's people around. This probably isn't the best look.
I'll deal with looks later. And I hit him.
Yeah, you crack him across the face. Go ahead and roll to kick some ass.
The janitor's really crazy strong.
That's a 10.
With the
A
plus
10
one
plus.
forward.
Oh no, 11.
An 11. You choose one extra effect. So first of all, what you're unarmed, I think, just does 1 damage, unless you took some special skill.
No.
So you do 1 damage as you swing your fist down and crack him across the jaw. But you gain an additional thing. You don't have advantage for the +1 forward. You can't do a double +1 forward. You can inflict terrible harm. You can suffer less harm, or you can force them where you want them.
He's kind of already where I want him.
Yeah.
And, yeah, are we by like a corner of a wall, or are we like dead center somewhere?
It's a long wall, and he was about in the middle. So you're in the middle of this long stretch of wall that then cuts over and has like the main campus body attachment next to it. So you're close to a corner, but you're not in the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, moving somewhere else doesn't quite work if we're that far then. It would just be to take less harm.
Yeah, you crack him across the face, and he's dazed. He doesn't even think about hitting you back. He says, "I'll talk. Please, just ask me a goddamn question."
I think my account was asked already. Talk about snake in the grass.
Operation Snake in the Grass was a code we were using to try to bring about better prosperity for some of the citizens of our fine town. That's all.
Which citizens? Just you?
No, there are a few of us. Sort of the socialites of town, people with some money to spare, people with deep roots in the town. You catch my drift?
So you're trying to make the
Vampire
richer
Diaries?
or the rich richer.
Yes.
This is like the Founders Council. Vampire Diaries.
See, I know
And-
Vampire Diaries didn't come out in
And-
1991
It's just like the Founders
in Outlander.
in Outlander.
President, I guess I'm not sure if you've read that book. You might have time sometime in the future.
Hopefully.
And how does killing these young girls go into this plan?
Now, I don't know anything about murder. I haven't been killing anyone.
You're chasing them.
Yes, because she was about to. And he catches himself and he doesn't continue speaking.
Maybe you're not killing people, but
Nicole, I
Yeah.
don't know how to break this to you. The first book in the Vampire Diaries series did come out in 1991.
Come on! This is
They-
like the Founders and Vampire
Book
Diaries.
1 through 4 came out in 1991 and 2, and then they took a 18-year hiatus and wrote the rest in the 2000s.
Everything came out in
What?
91.
So we look over at Jessica's book stand. It's Outlander. Right below Outlander, it's The Awakening, Volume 1.
am I Jessica?
Nicole having a breakdown in the shower later, just looking at her hands.
Oh my.
It's so silly. I feel like I don't know, I'm like a psychic or something.
Great. So, seems like these people being murdered and stuff are connected to you then. You might as well kind of spill the beans now. Otherwise, there might be more spilling, sir.
Yeah, you're not murdering people, but just because you didn't stab her yourself doesn't mean you didn't kill her.
He
Yep.
everybody there's no perception check in this game.
Speechless.
What you see, I assume all of you see this. He reaches down for his waistband, and pulls out a black blade, and he
Ugh.
angles it up, and is about to slash out at Connor.
I will
Cool.
kick his hand hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, Connor, you didn't take reduce the harm you take when you kicked some ass earlier. I wonder if this is the harm.
Well, the second time I did,
Oh, you did? Okay, I thought you took the
Mhm.
other thing. I thought you took put him where you wanted to get him on the
Oh, yeah.
ground.
that was the first one I did that.
There's too
Second
many.
one,
There's too many of these.
So I got a 13 for kicking ass.
ooh,
13, you do
What?
everything you want, and you get an enhanced effect. You completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get +1 forward. You suffer no harm at all. Your attack inflicts
Oh.
double the normal harm, or your attack drives the enemy away in a rout.
Yeah, but I don't have the advanced skill set, so I can't use that, right?
Oh yeah, that needs to be
Yeah.
unlocked later on. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Quite a bit later on.
But
Yeah.
oh wow, okay. So on the 10 plus side, so
Yep.
maybe force them where I want them. I'm forcing his hand, like I'm giving it like a very strong strike to maybe like break the wrist and like pin his hand with the knife on the ground away from Connor.
You kick his hand, and his hand flashes away, and the blade clatters on the ground a few feet away from him.
Would the natural attacks base claws that I have also include my feet kicks?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say
Okay.
yes. You've got hooves, so
All right, so that's 2 harm and it's ignore armor to a base.
you
Hmm.
this strike comes down and catches him in like the arm, throws it away. You do hear a crack in the wrist as his arm is thrown back. He screams out in pain.
You did say you were going to be talking. You said nothing about stabbing, sir.
Just tell me what happened. How'd you find me besides, chasing the girl? You find anything else?
It looks like you were kind of like missing something in your place up there, right?
We heard your drunk text, brother. We heard you sobbing.
yeah. I was under the window. I heard you talking about that.
You heard my call, huh?
Hmm.
Well, is the recipient of said call all right?
I don't know. We're here.
All right. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you shit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Well, I hope we can find a better president than you.
You won't.
Guess we have to kill you.
Yeah, it seems like we're a bit of an impasse here, folks, because you don't seem like a bunch of cold-blooded killers to me. So I think maybe I get up and walk out of here.
Connor, you got
No.
any rope or something?
Yeah.
Rope! I hope you have cuffs.
Probably in my.
Hey, no, cuffs were invented in 1992.
Yeah, in the the van, there's some cuffs.
All right.
You pull out some cuffs. He says, "What kind of freaky shit?"
Wouldn't you like to know?
Our
Yeah.
janitor is
Uh,
cool.
Yeah. Connor, will one of these fit around his ankle since the other hand of his is looking a little grim?
I'll throw that on his wrist anyways. They'll they can
Okay.
fix that up.
Yeah, you latch both up, and he says, What the fuck are we doing? What are you, a
Oh,
cop?
We're going to the sheriff. We're fine. We're getting a cop.
I guess we can use his phone in his office if we want to like kind of search around there, maybe.
Good luck
Uh,
proving anything. That's all I'm gonna say. You kicked my wrist, fucked me up, threw handcuffs on me. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to pin anything on me. So good luck with that.
We've
mm,
pinned a janitor on you already. I don't think you should be complaining.
That's all right. I think, yeah, if you, if someone wants to go in to look through his stuff, I'll bring him out back to the van.
Yeah, I guess we'll take a plastic bag and pick up this knife too.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Grab a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
Hang on to it.
Take my sandwich, toss it out of the Ziploc bag. Sorry.
Hit the ground.
Take one bite and throw it away.
Yeah, you begin to detain the president of the college, and we cut back over to Thomas Puck, who has now been fully checked into this urgent care. You're sitting on one of those medical beds with the tissue paper on it. It's crinkling underneath you. You are conscious. The nurses have begun putting gauze on you. And the sheriff is sitting bedside, and the nurse steps away after having sort of stabilized a little bit of this, and she says, I'm going to go get the doctor. We're going to get this carried out real quick. So just hold on for a minute. And she runs out.
Yeah. He's been trying to get rid of her for like 20 minutes, and he goes, "What the hell do you mean a witch?"
There's a like a child story here
So
about a witch.
Thomas literally knocked himself out, woke up in the hospital, and immediately was like, "What fucking witch? What do you
Yes.
mean?" I'm like, "What witch?"
Witch? Talking about
You talked
The
about
Yahoo-
it in the car.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. The witch. Yeah, there's a child story of a witch that lived in Pleasant. Like during the founding of the town, she was around. She caused all sorts of mischief. They said if you stayed a night in the witch's home, you'd become possessed. Yada yada yada. Typical kid stuff. But yeah, there's always stories about her.
Oh my god.
Doing sacrifices. If a person went missing, it was probably the witch.
This isn't on a
Um,
mural or anything. All right.
No, it's like a
Pleasant?
nursery tale.
So they renamed the town Charming?
That was a snafu for me. Charming.
Oh, you can't remember the
I'd
name of
say
your own
Pleasant all
town?
the time.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah,
great.
that was me. Charming.
So, okay. So all right. So there was a witch, some kind of, that, and if you spend a night in a house, you'd be possessed. So people blamed her for that stuff. Okay. He has his pocket. He has this like little pocket journal, which he has to like reach over to his pants, and pull it out and starts flipping through and starts taking more notes on this kind of stuff, kind of forgetting himself a little in the moment. He like continues to fill out the page and goes, "All right, okay, so it's 145 degrees and there's a witch and there's a guy with a black obsidian knife. Okay, cool. Did the witch start any fires or anything? Did she get burned at the stake? Is that something that you remember? Is there a sad and tragic end to this tale, or do we not know it? Do you know it?"
Yeah, she was burned at the stake. As witches typically are.
Oh, okay, burned. Gosh dang. He looks at his wounds. He's like, I gotta wait for stitches. All right. And his eyes kind of go wide, and he looks up and he goes, you should. And he points to the sheriff and goes, I'm supposed to meet some people at the school. and I look up at the clock. How long has it been since I said 2 hours? I have no idea what our time scale is like here.
Since you went to the
Because I searched, found 2 other vehicles, then found this one, went inside, had the fight, went outside, sheriff arrived, then we searched.
You're
and then went to
approaching
the
like an
hospital.
hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half here now. And this is happening concurrently with what Charles, Connor, and Jessica were just up to.
So I look up
So
and
it's
I
been
go,
about an hour and a
I'm
half.
supposed to meet some people. I need a phone. And I look around. Do I see a phone anywhere?
There's a desk phone here that's typically used for inter-office calls, but can make calls out.
Hand me the phone.
Yeah, all right. He hands you the phone.
I pull the receiver off, look at it for the number I need to dial to do an out number, and punch in Charles's office phone.
Ring, ring,
Oh, but that's right, they're in the president's
ring.
office. It's 91. Does the school provide Charles with an answering machine? That's the real question. Is there an answering machine there to take?
I think what happens instead is the phone is answered, and it says, "Hello, this is the secretary for the school, Bev Jameson."
Hello, my name is Thomas Puck. I am a reporter with WMVR 94.5. I was trying to get a statement from one Charles Kevinson concerning something that happened in the community area recently. Is there any way that you could try to get a hold of him for me? I could have sworn I dialed his number, but I suppose he wasn't there to pick up. I don't know if you could call a little announcement over the radio or something.
Oh yeah, all the calls actually go through the office here, and then we route them over to the right department. So I'll route this over to Charles's number, sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So that's funny. Okay. He's like, wow, the system at school is really old.
And it gets looped through, and it rings and rings and rings,
Son
and
of
there's no answer.
a bitch.
And there's no voice message to be left. You could leave a message with Bev Jameson.
No, I was wondering if she would like go over the intercom and be like, if Charles Kevinson is in the area. But no, so she directs me over, and I go, well, shit. I hang up. And I guess I think Thomas is just gonna wait until he gets his stitches and then try to limp his way back to his truck. Did the sheriff? I'll say, Sheriff, can you tell somebody to go get my truck? My truck's in the mall parking lot.
Yeah.
Do you have a just call a deputy or something?
towing company? Yeah. I'll call someone. And he's clearly uncomfortable with the idea of calling a deputy.
There's like 1,000 people in this town. As he gets up to mark off, I go, just if they wouldn't mind. And he seems like a pretty stand-up guy. I'll hand him my keys so that Thomas is just trying to make it so that as soon as possible, when he can be checked out of this place, he can then go, because there's nothing weird in the truck. It's literally, there's just like his tape recorder and some other odds and ends, but he doesn't carry a gun. He doesn't have a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah.
So he just needs that for when he gets free. So he'll hand him the keys, and he's hoping the sheriff, because he doesn't know anybody in town. And then Thomas is just going to wait to get his stitches, and then he's going to drive to the college.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you had any other questions about the witch, you can feel free to ask them, because he is making a call out, and he's telling them to come to the hospital, grab the keys, and then pick up that vehicle. He hangs up. And the doctor comes in and does begin sewing some of these wounds shut, checking everything, making sure you don't have any internal bleeding that's obvious from here.
Yeah, I mean, how much does it... it seemed like he only really had like some pretty cursory knowledge of it initially. If he has anything else to say, that would be great. But he'll go, all right, so there's a... and then he remembers that in the car, he said that he had heard things. And so now... the lie he was about to tell doesn't make any sense. That he was about to hit him with the like, oh, I'm writing an article about the local. So he's like, okay. She was burned. That's all right. Well, Ethan can't think of any questions, so I think we should probably just scoot.
one bit for you, and it's mostly just the thing that made me not really believe it. And it was the myth was, you stay in a house, you get possessed from her spirit. Yada yada yada. Nobody knows where her house is. It's not like, oh yeah, the witch's house down on the corner. It doesn't really exist. So people would say, when you go to a creepy location, that's the witch's house. It's never an actual place. There's not like a cabin in the woods that the witch actually lived in. Not that I've ever been able to tell. So, you stay at your creepy uncle's place and you're like, oh, that's the witch's cabin. That's the joke.
Oh, I got it. It's like, I don't know. It's like saying something's the bee's knees or something. All right. And then Thomas kind of like leans back And then his face kind of starts to fall a little bit, and he's like, "So if you stay in the witch's cabin, you get possessed. There's no real witch's cabin. So whenever you see it, you are there." Oh shit, I gotta call Jessica as he's getting the stitches.
And we jump over to the rest of the party. Connor, you have Brian Pierce in the back of this van, handcuffed. I assume you're driving to the sheriff's office?
Yeah, that's fine. Did anyone want to check out the office before we go?
Yeah, I guess if you want to keep him pinned, I'll just leap into the window up above you.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't even have to leave him pinned. I can just be dragging him over to the van.
All right.
Yeah. Charles, you jump in through the window as Connor drags him away. Jessica, what are you doing?
I guess I'll come in as well just to look around, just to help with that.
Great.
Or should I
And
not?
I think it makes
I
sense.
think it's safe
It's
now.
a good move. Yeah.
I was also going to use my shapeshifter thing. So, like, when I go through the curtains first, like, maybe not expecting Jessica to come by, I also shapeshift into a big stag deer. And
Mhm.
so, like, when I hit the ground, it's just like two sets of hooves.
What the? This is just like that one movie that came out in 1991.
Yeah, you leap in, Jessica, you follow in behind, and looking around, you still see this slightly less turned over office. He adjusted some of the things in the time he was in here. But you see an inkwell on the ground spilled with ink there with footprints leading out towards the window. A knocked over chair in the corner, stuff thrown off the desk here, all over the ground. Um, Everything else, you're gonna have to roll me plus sharp.
Yeah, like investigate a mystery then from Sharp.
Yes, you can do that.
Cool. I'll use
I
that.
mean, it could be investigate a mystery or read a bad situation. You're both of these things are happening. There was a bad situation happening currently, and there was a mystery that happened here maybe an hour ago.
Yeah, I guess I'm just sniffing. I guess as the deer with the shapeshifter thing, I get at least +1 to investigate a mystery. So I'll do that. Like I'm sniffing around to try to like smell some strange like supernatural stuff or other things that seem out of place in an office.
Mm-hmm. Jessica?
It's so hard to go from panic,
I-
we're all chasing after people brain back to detective brain. Like, I couldn't think of any questions for the sheriff. I was like, I don't know. Like, Spencer was trying, you were trying so hard, and I was like, what was the fucking witch's name, dog? Like, it's so hard to switch back.
Jessica!
Ah, I
Whoa!
pull out a gun. No.
All right, Jessica, what did you roll?
I rolled an 8.
Gotcha. Charles?
And I rolled a 4, so I think I'm kind of like still like feeling unsteady in this like weird shapeshift form.
Yeah, Charles, you are spending time here trying to find more information. And we zoom out and we see flying over the top of the town. We're over the woods now, a few miles away from any roads leading out into the essentially deep wilderness, the swampier areas outside of town. And we see that same flash of cloth running through the woods, stumbling now more than running, as a girl who is being chased is still out there, making more and more distance from her perceived pursuer and getting further away from civilization. And we jump back to you. You don't see any of that, but that is occurring. Jessica, with an 8, you can ask one question. And your questions are going to be what happened here? What sort
I
of
have 'em
creature
here.
is it? You got it? Gotcha.
Mm, I feel like I want to ask because I sort of, well, okay. I want to ask what happened here because I want to know what happened before he like lost track of her.
Mm-hmm. What happened here? You have been looking at very small details, and now you're trying to pull back and look at the big picture. You find a bit of slash duct tape here. You find a tiny penknife over on the side nearby it. You see the open window, the tossed over furniture, and what you get out of this is this person, whoever it was brought in here bound. They had retrieved a penknife from a small like utility cup on this desk. So there's pens, pencils, this penknife, like a letter opener is basically what you're looking at here. And they had grabbed it, presumably while whoever they were in here with, Brian Pierce, was distracted, and then began cutting through the duct tape that was binding them. After they did that, they leapt up, knocked the chair over. Brian leapt forward, trying to grab at them, knocking the things off of his desk, knocking his chair over. And then this person ran for the window, yanked it open, leapt out, stepping in that inkwell. So what you see is somebody who is tied up and broke themselves free and escaped in a fairly heroic and quick action.
Okay. That makes sense. I was hoping, you know, for some reason I thought that if I asked what happened here, I would get like some sort of like vision with like what they said. Like, why would I think that? I don't know.
Well, remember, you can use the sensitive is an alternate weird move that is open your brain to the psychic environment, which is gaining definitive impressions like visions about something important. So you do have, you can just say I do that, like, you know, if you wanted to shoot that
Oh,
like psychic angle. That's the majority of what I
kinda.
use.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
All right, I'm gonna say you're gonna get +1 forward on this, because you just unlocked sort of the secrets of what was going on here physically. So you're gonna try and lock in a little bit more here. So go ahead and roll.
Another one I love for Michael's character is trust your gut. Consult your
Yeah.
instincts about what to do next and roll plus weird. They're
So
really
good.
cool for non-magical people to have a little bit of something to do with that stat.
I rolled a 7, and then I do a plus.
Plus weird.
That was weird.
That's 2, and then I have the +1, so 10.
And that is alternate weird basic moves. So sensitive.
Yeah, alternate weird basic moves. It's hunters who do not have use magic or their weirdness move must treat any spell as big magic. The keeper may wish to pick requirements. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and then it just gives a list of like alternate options for players that are less likely to say I use a spell, like, you know, I carve a symbol in the ground and abjure enemies.
You get this overhead view of what's going on, and then you close your eyes to connect. And you gain a definite impression of what occurred here. You see the events. And what you see here is who was taken. And that is Emily Harris, the captain of the cheerleading squad. You see that she was the one in this office. You see that she wasn't under any form of mind control. She had just been grabbed and bound. So it doesn't seem like that was magical in any way, at least not at this point. So you're not totally sure beforehand. And you see her cut her way out and leap out the window. Beyond that, there's like a tingling sensation in your nose. It's not fully unpleasant, but it's noticeable. Like when you breathe in pepper and you're about to sneeze, it's close to that. But if it was like cayenne pepper, it didn't burn you, but it's there. And you look around the room and you see that Charles is sniffing around and is not picking up on this, but psychically attuned. You get the same idea and you breathe in and you walk around this large oak desk, and there is a single drawer pull out. It's not locked. You pull that drawer out, a deep, deep drawer, and you find a fairly large and ancient-looking Bible.
Come on now.
No, I don't.
You do,
But I don't.
but you do.
No.
You stand up from your psychic vision. You look over at the track and field coach. He is smelling the ground. You look
As
at
a
the
deer.
desk
Stinks
and you
as a
go.
deer.
You look at the desk and you go, I smell something now. You open a drawer. There's a 15th century Bible. Goddamn.
You
It's like,
Goddamn.
say-
got really
What a rest
weird.
of your day. What's the rest of your
I
day
said-
look like?
it's like
You-
no.
Ew,
I said,
no.
this is gonna ruin the tour. The
What
world
tour?
Puts it back, shuts the drawer, locks it.
I I walk away. I go to the nearest airport. I buy a plane ticket. I leave, and I've never seen again.
We cut back over to Connor Connors. Are you attempting to talk to Brian Pierce at all, or are you just letting him?
A little bit. I said, yeah, it's a nice knife you had there. I was happy. Where'd you get that?
Walmart.
It's a good joke.
See, I never really. Walmart seems like a pretty good place. I've just never been there. You know, they sold knives though. I might go there now.
You ever been to Walmart? And we
Is
cut back over to
Walmart a
Charles
place?
Evanson and Jessica Fitch.
Is Walmart a place in '91?
Yeah,
I don't
Walmart's
know.
huge in 1991. Walmart got
Okay.
big in like
Walmart
the late
is the
70s,
place
early 80s.
in 1991.
Whoa.
That's the place.
I was sure it was like a small startup yet.
I just like
No, still big.
as a deer, like I think one of the papers, like my like impulse to chew on it just takes. So I like look up at Jessica with like the just the gnashing at a piece of paper, just like looking at her, like trying to figure out what she's looking at.
It's just like the flowers. It's just like the flowers. The president's gonna be so pissed you ate his papers. So you guys have found some information here. Charles, unfortunately, you cannot re-roll your search. You find very little, but you do find a full stomach on papers.
Walmart.
Jessica, you found quite a bit.
Walmart opened in 1962. The
Wow.
recent development of Walmart is Walmart only started selling groceries in 1988. So only 3 years before our adventure began, they began to sell groceries there as well.
Did they used to sell knives quite a bit?
Obsidian
or-
knives.
They sold
Obsidian
everything
blades?
other than groceries, I guess.
There you go. Boom. So obsidian blade done. You guys have wrapped up your search here, so I assume you step out and you see Connor still holding the president by the van, doors open, ready to throw him in.
Did you bring the or did Jessica bring the Bible with her?
Yeah, did you bring the
then?
Bible?
Yeah, I bring the Bible.
All right.
She
I
brings the
have
Bible with
to.
her everywhere she goes. Proper
Yeah,
Christian.
a good Christian cheerleader girl.
Yeah, you grab the Bible. I assume you throw in like a knapsack that you have.
Ew, yeah, just chuck it
Uh,
in there.
and you step out, and you find Connor with Brian Pierce. What are y'all doing?
So, I guess you guys want to go to the sheriff? I guess.